Hello, everybody. This is Just In Case of American Newscape, joining our friend and media personality, Jerry Maldonado, back for another installment of American Mentoring. Hello, Jerry. Welcome back to American Newscape.
Hey, Meatball. What's up, man?
Meatball. Hopefully I'm the king of the meatballs, but maybe not. Maybe not. Hey, things are good. We've both survived some weather here recently, and our extreme heat is gone. It's supposed to be in the 90s all week, which is unheard of for this time of year. It should still be in the hundreds for us.
Up here, I'd be getting notifications on my phone to run for cover for 90s, man. You guys are used to it over there. I can never do that. I can never do that.
Oh, you could.
But yeah, I'm sorry I missed you guys last week, and I'll be happy to explain and show a great metaphor to live by from it.
Well, Jerry, you never owe us an explanation. You let us know that you were having some things you were dealing with, but hey, this week we're going to talk about creation, so that's a pretty open topic. Pretty open.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So what's happening with creation?
Well, what's happening is a 3-second pause in between, Meatball. We got to get our stuff straight tonight.
Well.
Now, come on, we got to get in tune here. Actually, it's part of the program tonight. It's called alignment.
Alignment.
So we got to get aligned there, Meatball. Come on, we got to get our stuff all together here. But what your listeners don't know, and you know, because you've known me obviously for like a decade or more, that I've been for 38 years, I've been a professionally trained baker. And it's an awesome experience that there's very few of us left to actually take components that are raw, put them all together, and you get a chemical reaction to create this amazing product. The one thing that I learned, I was trained by a German pastry chef. He was from Germany back in the 30s. I mean, this guy was an old timer. And he taught me so much about it. He goes, you always got to follow the recipe the same way. And the only German word I ever learned was nein. That in the smack in the back of the head when I wasn't doing things the right way. But that philosophy stuck with me and still does to this day. As a matter of fact, last week, because of the staff shortage, working a lot, and I'm barely getting any sleep. But getting back to my field, there's a precise way you have to measure everything. There's a precise way you got to set everything up, and there's a precise way you have to do it. If you deviate from that, you're going to have different kinds of product. And you've seen it probably in your experiences in the stores where you see something that doesn't look the same like it used to. That just means some meatball in the back didn't follow the recipe. It's really simple. And life is the same way. There's a system in place that if you guys can get past the mystical thought about it, you realize the creation you can create from it.
Well, I agree with that, but I always found baking a gift. I mean, Grandma's baking was a gift. She had a gift. You could work right alongside Grandma and do the process with her, and hers was Grandma's gift, and yours was just substandard.
Well, to get back to the baking part, is you're basically creating something out of nothing. And if you think about that, life is the same way. And Grandma knew exactly what to put in that recipe every time. You never had to ask her. It was ingrained in her mind. Life is the same way. It's a great metaphor to live by because we create everything out of nothing basically every day. Our thoughts and our feelings create the reality that we live in. It's hard for some people to believe because they think there's some omnipotent force out there controlling us. I get it. And I've experienced two sides of the spectrum. I've experienced depending on the omnipotent force to control my life, or I've depended on myself to be the creator. And for people who don't understand the basic laws of science, there's a science behind creation. And we call it the holy, how should we say, the holy triangle in life. It's called mind, body, and spirit. that these are the basic components of creation life. And to get back what I mentioned with the alignment part, the alignment, when you line up these three components, the mind, the body, and the spirit, to what you want, that's the path you're going to be led on every day. Hard to believe, but when I got rid of the mysticism that's associated with believing in the unseen that creates the seen, life got a lot more fun.
Well, now your analogy of baking makes a lot of sense, Jerry, because those were the gifts she brought to the table. She had that intuitive know-how of what to do, the tactile feel, the dough. She had the experience, and she knew it would turn out. Never a doubt.
Exactly. Do you see how these simple metaphors are the same things about the basic components about life in our own lives and our own creations? A lot of people, you and I know this. We were talking, you can't believe in something like that. It's never going to happen, until we really put our mind and our body and our spirit into it, our feeling into it. We sort of realizing, wow, this is pretty cool.
Well, it is. And, once again, a commonality we have, we both want to understand and are willing to understand. But until you showed me the light, I was going baking. Man, I should make him eat my bread.
But you don't have to understand it. We don't understand. We can't see electricity, but we turn the light switch on. We don't have to understand it. All we have to do is be it. Hence, I'll get to the three components: mind, what you're thinking every day about what you want; your body, how you feel about what you want; and your spirit, what you truly want to bring to your life. If you line those three components up, just like with baking, you don't deviate from them, you follow that precisely the way I mentioned it, you're going to have different results. But at the same time, some people don't understand the behind the scenes. I don't understand how electricity works. I don't understand how the laws of the universe works, but they're there for us to use them. It's just a different perspective on how people are creating their lives every single day. And I was just speaking to a lady before I got on, a Beltway publicist in Washington, D.C. Deals with congressmen and people all the time. This lady has the morale of a 2-year-old. And I say it respectfully because she's going through a hard time and very down on herself. I said, you got to realize what you're creating here. And she's hung up in the old omnipotent way of creation. And I say it respectfully. Some people believe that. I really respect that. But I tried to explain to her, I said, look, how are you feeling about what you're doing? Because that's going to dictate where it's going. I didn't show the mind, body, spirit thing to her. She's kind of the old school way. And I get it. I totally respect that. But this is just a different perspective put into a simple metaphor of baking. You add the right ingredients in your mind of good thoughts and good feelings. That goes to the body and enhances your spirit. You carry that aura around with you every day, and that desires that you put in that template of what you want to bring, life becomes so much more fun.
Well, and we almost have to, we have to be willing to accept, and we have to accept that change, and we need to accept that gift and let it come into our lives.
Our own gift.
Yeah.
Indeed, our own. And you bring up a great point. Go ahead. Follow up.
No, that's it. We need to let it into our lives. We need to accept it. And, it's...
You always hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head, me, Paul. You're awesome.
Well, even though I'm remembering my grandmother's baking.
Good for you. Touche. Touche. But you bring up a great point. It's your purpose. What makes you happy? Think about it. If you're doing what makes you happy, your mind's going to be happy. If you're doing what makes you happy, your body's going to feel good about it. And then your spirit is just dictating where it's going. Your spirit is just your desire amplified. You add those two other components to a little bit of love in what you're doing, you're going to create the most amazing opportunities. They're going to be drawn to you. What you want has to come through us to get to us. And when I learned that I'm the creator of my outside world, but my inside world, a lot of things change the most amazing ways indeed. Yeah, certain circumstances we have no control over. I get it. But when you realize you are your own omnipotent power. And it's a different perspective on life for people who are really struggling right now, which is everywhere. in the news, whether it's politics or food or money. If it bleeds, it leads. I'm telling you on the news. Stay off the news, man. Focus on yourself.
Absolutely. And I've lost my train of thought. Who can imagine that? But no, you're exactly right. And it's let it in. Take advantage of these opportunities. And, even if there's what people sense as a setback, that's another opportunity.
Setbacks or setups. I mean, seriously. But people don't realize, and you may have a great point. Setbacks are usually your own creation. And if people really think about it, oh, my spouse left me. You didn't really want them there to begin with, so you got your wish. Does that make sense? You see what I'm getting at? I mean, people don't realize they're actually creating their own setbacks. So it's really important that you follow your bliss. And whatever it might be, if it's cutting a watermelon, do a watermelon, man. Whatever makes you happy. But if you follow your bliss, your mind's going to be in alignment with your body on how you feel, and the outcome is inevitable. You're going to create more bliss in your life. So many people are doing what they have to do instead of what they want to do.
And that's what Mr. Rogers tried to teach us when we were little.
I never watched him. He scared me.
Neither did I.
It was that sweater. I liked the movie with Tom Hanks, though. That was a fantastic movie. That kind of scared me. I'd rather watch Sesame Street. They were more easier to watch.
Well,
I got this guy with a different sweater.
I kind of had outgrown Sesame Street, and I agree with you. There was something about Mr. Rogers taking you into a magic kingdom that was a little much.
That scared me. The guy was a war veteran and hero. You wouldn't have known that. I mean, his biography is amazing, but he showed the side of life, which is exactly what I'm saying. I'm just saying a little bit more louder and arrogant kind of way. He just said, "Be happy, meatball," and that's basically all we got to do. If you're following your spirit, what you truly want, you're going to create more of that through your mind and body with ideas and feelings to attract them to you. It's just a different perspective on a sweet metaphor, pardon the pun, that people can go by.
A pastry metaphor, so to speak.
Indeed. How about a donut metaphor, man? Yeah, that's a...
No, we can't eat them anymore. Society's told us donuts are bad.
Yeah, I know, right? Just like eggs were bad. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Now they're saying you got to eat more protein. Yeah, I get it. But after almost 40 years in the business, I'm still 150 pounds. I haven't gained an ounce, so you can tell I don't feast on it because I'm too busy making it.
Well, you have a metabolism through the roof, Jerry. So you're blessed with that. Oh yeah.
I'm very slow.
Slow. Well,
I'm very slow.
Okay, but we're talking about your metabolism.
Yeah. Well, mentally, physically, and spiritually, I'm very slow. Can't you tell? I'm all good. But yeah, I mean, the field. Well, when I realized a simple metaphor about baking, because baking is a science. And I just got a better looking coat compared to the regular science. But baking is a science just like life is a science. You put the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts together, you're going to get a reaction, hence an experience. Yeah. It's a simple way to live. It's a simple way to realize that you are your own creation, whether you like it or not.
I've always seen baking as an art form. You take these ingredients and you turn it into something that is... in essence, a beautiful thing. So
yeah, anybody can do it, as long as you can read. As long as you can read.
Yeah, and then they said, "Quit measuring your flour, weigh your flour." Yeah, they got rules.
It's not for the faint-hearted. It's a very repetitive, but rewarding. I mean, I remember years ago when I had my bakery, a reporter asked me, "Why do you do this?" I said, "Open up any photo album, you see why." The cakes in there. I mean, everything is such a memorable experience with the stuff that we do and that I've done for so many years. But creating a metaphor for others to live by, to prosper in their own way, is even more rewarding.
That's very cool, Jerry. Why don't you give us one more shout out of that German mentor years ago? What was his name?
Hans.
Hans. That's a good German name.
Yeah, he's not from
Hans.
like Die Hard, man. He didn't look like that. No. He had the Hitler mustache and everything, but he taught me so much. And most importantly, what Hans taught me about the baking, you guys can realize your own life, is discipline and
Yes.
consistency. If you follow the simple rule of knowing the ingredients of your mind and your body and your spirit that you're putting in every single day, you're in alignment to where you want to go. Hence, you're creating a new path. It's a simple way, but it has to be done that way. The laws are already set up for us. In Scripture, they said, everything's finished. And basically, that's what it was. It was all set up, if you can use it that way. But it said creation is finished. Indeed, you can create anything you'd like in life. But you got to believe you can create that. You got to feel you can create that. Most importantly, you got to know what you want to create.
Well, and you really you drilled it home that belief is a key ingredient to all of this.
That's the water, man. Mind is the flour.
Oh,
Body is the chocolate chips. And the spirit is the oven that cooks all that stuff.
Oh my! Que lástima.
Only us on America's Newscape will come up with a metaphor of a cookie
And chocolate chips.
and
Chocolate chips.
theology all in one.
Chocolate chips. And we had to get chocolate chips in there.
Exactly. I hope this helps.
Well, I think it does, Jerry, and I think it was. You should be proud. You put this to us in a very concise and understandable way, and even I got it.
No, that's what I'm
Yes.
talking about.
Got through to
I
a
even
meatball.
spit on the camera for that one. What the hell?
Yeah, who would have thought?
That was awesome.
All right, everybody. This has been Justin Case and Jerry Maldonado bringing you American Mentoring. Thanks for joining us. Remember, additional information on links provided in this video is read more. Today's the day to subscribe to this channel. Please learn more about Jerry Maldonado and his baking when time permits.